Good morning, class. Today we are working on Unit 3, Lesson 11. We will be reviewing adding and subtracting mixed numbers. We will also be predicting whether a product will be greater than, less than, or equal to a second factor, and then solving for, where it says compute, we will solve the equation, and we will also be dividing fractions. Before we get started, you can go ahead and put an X through your stretch your thinking. Let's look at the top and we will complete a mixed number addition problem and a subtraction problem for review. Number 1, we have 1 and 1/8, and to 1 and 1/8 we are adding 4 and 2/3. Remember, when you're adding and subtracting fractions and when you're adding and subtracting mixed numbers, you have to get a common denominator. And so we need to look at the two denominators here, and we have an 8 and we have a 3. And we know that 3 is not a factor of 8, but we also know that both of those multiply together by and equal 24. So I'm going to multiply the top and bottom of the upper fraction by 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 8 times 3 is 24, and I'm going to bring over my 1, my whole number. Then I'm going to multiply the bottom, top and bottom, by 8. 2 times 8 is equal to 16, and 3 times 8 is equal to 24. And then I'm going to bring over my whole number, and now I can complete my addition problem. 16 plus 3 is equal to 19. My denominator stays the same, which is 24, and 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. So your answer is 5 and 19 over 24. Let's go ahead now and look at the subtraction problem, and number 2 is a subtraction problem. In that one we have 6 and 1/4, and from that we are subtracting 4 and 5/6. Again, we need to have a common denominator, and 4 is not a factor of 6 when we look at our denominators, but both of them go into 12, and 4 times 3 is equal to 12. And I'm going to also multiply the top by 3, which makes that 1 times 3 is equal to 3. And I'm going to bring over my whole number, which is 6. To get 6 to equal 12, we have to multiply top and bottom by 2. And 5 times 2 is equal to 10. 6 times 2 is equal to 12. Bring over my whole number, and then I can complete my subtraction problem. And common denominator. However, I cannot take 10 away from 3, so I am going to have to borrow 1 whole from my 6. When I borrow that 1 whole, the 6 becomes a 5. And to this, I'm going to add to my 3/12. I'm going to add 1 whole, which is 12/12. 1 is equal to 12 over 12. So 12 plus 3 is equal to 15 over 12. And so now what I have is 15 minus 10, which is equal to 5. The denominator stays the same, which is 12. And 5 minus 4 is equal to 1. So my answer is 1 and 5/12. We're going to go ahead and look at our predictions and practice some of those. In number 7, the first thing we have to do is predict. Do we think x is going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 9? And then we compute. What we have for number 7 is 5 over 5 times 9 is equal to x. And I need to know, do I think that x is going to be greater than or less than or equal to 9? Well, I'm going to look at the fraction I'm multiplying by, and 5 over 5 is simply 1, right? 5 over 5 is equal to 1. So if I multiply any whole number by 1, or any number by 1, it's going to be that number. So I'm going to predict that x is equal to 9. Now I can just solve. 5 over 5 times 9, which 9 written as a fraction is 9 over 1, is equal to 5 times 9 is equal to 45, and 5 times 1 is equal to 5. I can see I'm left with an improper fraction because the numerator is larger than the denominator. 5 can go into 45 9 times. And so I can write down 9 for my compute. X is equal to 9. And I can see that my prediction was correct. Let's look at number 8 together. We'll do another prediction problem together. And number 8 is 7/8 times 9 equals x. First thing I need to do is predict, do I think that x is going to be greater than, less than, or equal to 9? Well, I am multiplying 9 by a fraction that's less than 1. So I'm multiplying it by less than 1. So I'm predicting that x is going to be less than 9. Go ahead and solve. 7/8 times 9, 9 written as a fraction is 9 over 1, is equal to 7 times 9 equals 63, and 8 times 1 is equal to 8. I have an improper fraction because my numerator is larger than my denominator. So I need to ask myself, how many times can 8 go into 63 without going over? 8 times 8 is 64, so that would be too high. So I'm going to then drop down 1, and 8 times 7. And so 8 can go into 63 7 times without going over. And 8 times 7 is equal to 56. And 63 minus 56 leaves me a remainder of 7. And then I write that over my original denominator, which is 8. So 7 and 7/8. And I can see that my prediction was correct because 7 and 7/8 is less than 9. You can go ahead and complete those ones on your own, and we're going to go ahead and move down to 13 through 18. When we're dividing, we remember our chant. Keep, change, flip. Again, keep, change, flip. Let's look at number 13. It says 6 divided by 1/4. If I follow my little chant, it's keep. I keep the 6 the same. Change, I change my division symbol to a multiply. Flip, I change 1/4, I flip it upside down, and it becomes 4 over 1. And in order to make 6 a fraction, I write 6 over 1. And 6 times 4 is equal to 24, and 1 times 1 is equal to 1. And 1 can go into 24 times. So your answer for number 13 is 24. We'll go ahead and practice that again. And I am going to leave on there the keep, change, flip chant so that you can commit it to memory. It's really important that we remember this. We can take 2 divided by 3 and follow the same steps. Keep, 2 stays the same. Change, we move from divide to multiply. And then flip. Well, if 3 is written as a fraction, it's just 3 over 1, so I flip it and it becomes 1/3. In order to write 2 as a fraction, I'm going to write that 2 over 1. 2 times 1 is equal to 2, and 1 times 3 is equal to 3. And my answer is 2/3. All right, class, I'd like you to complete the rest of the page on your own. When you have finished, make sure to take a picture, upload, attach it in Teams, and turn it in. Thank you.